And we're here. My name is Kenny McIntosh. I'm here with one of the stars of Cagefighter Worlds Collide. It's Alex Montagnani. Did I get the name right? Did I do
Yeah,
okay?
perfect. Yeah,
There
really
we
good.
go. So, Alex, this is it's going to be on FITE on May 16th. One exclusively on FITE, and it's going to be this film of like cage fighting and wrestling colliding. So, I guess my first question to you before we talk about the film is: how are you coping on a lockdown? Are you okay? How are you passing the time? Give us some advice.
Yeah, it's okay. Lucky, like I said, I got my kids around me. They love training and boxing and stuff as well. So they're helping, man. So I've been uh, using my time teaching them, training with them. Yeah, it's been quite fun actually. It's been good.
Cool, you've got a squad.
I got
So, so talk to me about Cage Fighter Worlds Collide. How did you come to the project? How what interested you about it? What's kind of your background? Kind of get people up to speed on you.
yeah. So I came to the project from the very start. Jesse came to me because me and Jesse are good friends. We've known each other for a long time. So yeah, he came to me I think about 6 years ago roughly, and he said to me about would I want to be interested in being the lead in this short. It was just a short, like a teaser,
Okay.
And I said yeah. And he said great. We done it. It was really enjoyable, and then on I was like, right, I want to act, So again, years have passed. Jesse's done the full script, the feature. He's trying to get financed, and then he asked, do I want to come on board as the fight choreographer, and having a smallish role in it. And I was like, yeah, hell yeah, man. That's great. This is my life fighting, because obviously I'm a pro fighter, MMA fighter since 2011. So yeah, I was like, yeah, let's do this. And then they got finance all together thanks to Sarah and Shane. They're great producers. And then something happened to their lead at the time. I'm not sure what, but they were looking around and thinking, who could we use? We need someone who knows all the fights. And someone who can act, someone who looks good, and can handle the role.
Mm-hmm.
So he decided, it's kind of like a no-brainer. So then he asked Sarah, Shane. They both agreed, and then here we are, man.
So it's like what 7-8 years in the making to get it to go, and then I
Yeah.
guess for you to be like a pro fighter, there must be like an element where you can at least kind of go, well, this is how it really would be, so that we can make it look like it would actually be, so that if there's like MMA people watching, they'd be like, they wouldn't go, well, that wouldn't happen. Is that like part of it?
Yeah, 100%. It was great having me, Jesse, and Daniel Beavis, the stunt guy, on set, because obviously me and Jesse coming up with the fights, like you said, we wanted them to be real. We watched certain fight films and we're like, man, that would never happen.
Yeah.
I've seen some where people like basically throw a guy out of the cage, and it's like, oh, come on, How many times have you seen that happen? So yeah, we really broke it down, tried to give the fans, like the fight fans, the wrestling fans, and just general people watching the film, to enjoy the film. Some of that could be like a real experience.
And obviously you play Rhys Gibbons, and it's going to be his 6th title defense, and it's going to be against Randy Stone, who's played by Moxley. So, I mean, when you find out that John Moxley's going to be the other guy involved, like, how do you find out that it's going to be him? How do you find out that he's being considered? And what is he like to work with? Because he's from seeing him be around wrestling, he's a friendly guy, but he's maybe not the most kind of outgoing guy in the world. So I'm curious how the kind of dynamic was.
So obviously, because I was the fight choreographer at the start, they told me they were looking at John, and I was straight away, I was excited, because I know he's a big guy, but he's super athletic. So I was like, man, we can do some real crazy stuff in the fights. Get John. And then they told me they got him. And I was like, this is amazing. So then I really started getting to work, trying to put some stuff in that he does that can relate into MMA. And then obviously when I got the part, I was like, wow, not only now am I going to be working on the fights with him, I'm not actually going to be acting with him. So I was like, this is going to be insane. And then meeting him, yeah, he's a bit reserved, but he's a great guy, man. And when you get to sit down and actually talk to him, and you see his work ethic, he is one of the hardest working guys I've met. He really just gets stuck in, he doesn't complain, he just gets on with it, and he gives 100% every time. So yeah, it was amazing working with him, and I can't wait for you guys to see the finished product.
Yeah, because we've only seen the trailer so far. Obviously, May 16th is when we get to see the full thing. What's your history with like MMA and pro wrestling? Like, did you like them when you were a kid? Like, tell us some of your kind of influences when you started.
Yeah. So I've been doing martial arts since I was about, I don't know, probably 2, 3. My dad is a black belt in 3 disciplines. My mum did judo as well. My granddad and my uncle were black belts in karate. So it was like, I had to kind of do martial arts. So I've been doing it since a young kid. And wrestling in the UK, as you probably know as well, it was Saturday morning, everyone tuned in. I think it was WWF then. So, I watched like the British Bulldog, Mankind, all of them type of wrestlers. And yeah, I loved it. So then again, having them merged together in this film is just great. It's just bringing the best of both worlds. And it's exciting. It's exciting, man. So I love both of them.
Well, and obviously, in the last kind of few years, I mean, obviously we saw like in 2012, Brock Lesnar came back to wrestling after going to MMA. We've seen Tyson Fury go from boxing to wrestling. We've seen Cain Velasquez. Like, there's a lot of kind of mixing that's happening now that never used to happen. Do you think, is that something that people kind of are going to realize that like there are elements to both that could make you good at both rather than just one?
Oh, definitely. I like I was saying with John, how athletic he is. To be a pro wrestler, man, you have to be so athletic, and your cardio and your wrestling itself has to be amazing. They're jumping off ropes. Some of their matches are lasting, like bloody hours. Yeah. So that athleticism coming into MMA and having the power and strength of being used to picking up guys and slamming guys and all of that type of stuff, man, it definitely relates into MMA 100%. And like you said, you see guys like Brock Lesnar and all them not coming into wrestling. Even JK, I know I've mentioned him in previous interviews, but again, from AEW going into Bellator, and he's smashing it. So it can be done. The only person that hasn't done it so far is CM Punk. That's the only person.
Well, but he tried for him. I remember he tried it, and that kind of shows how rough a sort of task it is to do.
No, it's but again, hats off to everybody who does any type of combat or type of sport, because it is tough. It's a very tough thing to do.
And his doing this movie and working with John, and also I know Christian's in the film as well, Jay Russo. Has that given you any bug to be like, maybe I could try pro wrestling at some point? Is that something that's like in your mind?
Yeah, for sure. I would love to give pro wrestling a try, and especially when me and John were doing rehearsals, I mentioned it to him, and he was like, man, he said, like, because of your athleticism as well with myself, he said, me and you, we could go and do a match and potentially make it look good, just because you're used to fighting. We could probably string something together there and then. So when he said that, I was like, all right. And then my brain started ticking. I was like, I'd give that a go. I'd love to do that.
And then for people who are watching this who are either maybe wrestling fans or MMA fans, what do you think about this film? Like, if you're selling it, what about it do you think will be able to sort of attract both audiences?
To attract both, I think it's got everything. It's got the flair and that source of wrestling. It's especially with John in it, and the way he talks and acts and stuff. I think that's going to really entice you, because the way that pro wrestlers cut promos, and it's insane. And that John brings that source into it. You then obviously get the MMA side, so you get all the fights and everything. And then I think just mashing it all together, I think it is wrestlers and MMA people are going to love it. And I think potentially after watching the film, MMA fans are going to then watch wrestling, and then wrestling fans are going to watch MMA. That's what I think is going to happen.
And then hopefully that will create a sequel, Cagefighter 2, and we'll all be happy and you can make more money. So,
yeah.
Well, listen, it's May 16th on FITE. People can check it out, Cagefighter Worlds Collide, where you, as Rhys Gibbons, are going to defend your title against Randy Stone. So, thanks for taking the time, Alex. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thanks very much for having this interview.
And good luck with the film.
Cheers. Thank you, man. Have a good day.
You too, man.
Cheers.
From London, England! Are you ready for a new legend?